I love caramel. I think everyone likes caramel because it's dark, rich and thick. So I'm going to celebrate it today by making salted caramel nut and prune tarts. These are delicious and they're crowd pleasers. Now you can see that I'm making small ones. You can make this into any size you like. I started with 375 grams of short crust pastry. Now short crust pastry is great for this because it's not going to puff up and they're going to hold their shape quite nicely. So I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees and what I'm doing here is just lining a very small cupcake tin here with a little bit of baking paper once you've put the pastry in. And then I'm adding some rice. Now this is just going to help them hold their shape while they're baking in the oven. Now you can either make your short crust pastry, I've got many recipes on the Everyday Gourmet website, or you can buy some really good quality short crust pastry. Now this is going to go into the oven for about 15 minutes. Then I'm going to remove the baking paper and cook it for an extra 10 to 15 minutes until the pastry is golden brown. Now let's get on to the caramel. 1 cup of sugar. Now this is dark sugar and I like the dark sugar because I like that molasses flavour, along with 50 grams of butter. And we need some cream. So 300 millilitres of thickened cream can go in. And all of this is going to bubble away and then I'm going to add some spices. But while that's happening, let's get on to the other ingredients in this. First of all, the nuts. Now you can use many different varieties of nuts. My choice today is a duo to start with. And this is almond and cashew nuts. And we want about half a cup into a food processor. And I like these almonds to be whole with the skin on because there's loads more flavour if they're like that. Also some hazelnuts, so a good handful of hazelnuts, and change it up. Pistachios if you like, fantastic. Macadamia nuts, wonderful. So I'm just going to pop the lid on here and I'm just going to pulse this. You don't want it to be a fine crumb, we still want a little bit of texture in it. Right. Oh, absolutely perfect. If there are some fine ones, not a problem at all. Now that that's ready, we can get on to the dried fruits. Again, you can mix it up, use as many or as little as you like. So 100 grams of dried apricots. And I've always got some dried apricots and some prunes in my cupboard because they're handy to do these really simple desserts. And again, roughly around 100 grams. And then I'm just going to finely chop them together. Now this caramel is thick and it's cooked down nicely. That's only taken about 4 to 5 minutes. Now I'm going to add the salt, so a pinch of salt. And for some spices, I love cardamom powder. It's got such a fantastic smell and it gives it a really nice flavour. So a pinch of that and some cinnamon. Now that that's in there, we can add our dried fruit at this stage. So that big handful that's been finely chopped. Also, I'm going to add the nuts at this stage too. So we'll sprinkle them in. Oh, and I can just smell that cardamom coming out now. It's just fantastic. Also, the zest of 1 orange. And once that's all in there, you just want to allow this to cool a little bit and it'll thicken up nicely. And then all we need to do now is wait for our little tart shells to cook and then we can assemble. See, I told you, this is so easy. Now that the tart shells have come out of the oven, you can see that they're lightly golden brown, crunchy, which is fantastic. We can feel them. So you can see that it's thickened up there and that's what we're looking for. And be generous with this sticky mixture because it's so good. The pastry's there just to carry these flavours. And that for me is a gorgeous, we call it petit four. So after dinner, when you're not having a full dessert, it's these little desserts. And you know what? You can make these ahead of time. Fill them when your guests come over. A great way to finish off a meal. Just a little sweetie. When you put them on the plate, they just look so gorgeous. You know what? I'm not going to finish them. I'm going to dig in straight away. Yum. Mmm. Wow. You know what? That is the best. It really is. So delicious. It needs nothing else. You've got that sticky caramel, you've got the spices there, and then the sticky dried fruits of the prunes and the apricot. It is so nice. Oh, I'm gonna need at least 2 of these to start with.